oversight outfit, not dissimilar to what EPOC was in relation to our economic reforms of 2012 and beyond.
Now, I want to ask you, is the government considering putting anything at all in place to protect these private individuals who will be leaving their posh jobs? Man, I come from Nike. Man used to be on the board of Harvard or one of them place. And they will be coming home to assist in the building forward of our society. Now, we know how the PMP operate, and we know how underhanded they are sometimes. They are not afraid to attack. They are not afraid to target and attack people's character. Is the government considering this, that these people will be coming slam dash in the middle of the political foray? Is there anything at all that can be put in place to protect these people's reputation? Because after NARA is done, wrapped up and folded up, these people will have to go back to their private lives. Is there any consideration to put anything in place to protect these people's reputation?
All right. Your question is in keeping with your own moniker. Your moniker is Protect Jamaica, and you raise a question that touches and concerns the issue of safeguarding, preserving, and protecting the good name and reputation of people. Now, one of the points I often make to my audiences is that Jamaica is a nation of laws, institutions, and processes. We're not a nation of men, merely. We're a nation of laws. The Constitution of Jamaica, and indeed the laws of Jamaica, provide certain provisions. And your question a while ago, Protect Jamaica, even speaks to one of the points we have been making within NARA. NARA doesn't seek to have or need to have certain things provided in it because those things are provided for elsewhere, meaning in other pieces of legislation. Now, we know that for politically motivated reasons, there are persons who may seek to impugn, castigate, or defame and abuse the persons who step forward to serve either in NARA as employees or serve on the oversight body, which is Jamrock. I would have indicated earlier, Protect Jamaica, that my own colleague in the Senate has already gone down a very nasty road by seeking to frame the gentleman who will be chairing NARA in a negative way in terms of alluding to him being conservative or from a right of center standpoint. And so what, lady? You are left of center, so what? The man enjoys certain rights where he is in the United States, which is a democracy, and we too in Jamaica, we're a fledgling democracy. And so the gentleman who will chair NARA is entitled to determining whether he holds and subscribes to left of center politics or right of center politics. Get over it with a Delcy Rodriguez self. But let me dial back to your question, protecting Jamaica. To the extent that any person who is a member of Jamrock or any employee of NARA feels that they have been defamed, abused, or have had their constitutional rights trespassed on, because remember, it is provided for in our Constitution that people are entitled to, protection against discrimination and so on, especially on the grounds of, politics and whatnot. The persons who feel that they would have been defamed or otherwise had actions against them that are unlawful, they have recourse, protecting Jamaica. They have recourse by way of the laws that govern this country. So NARA, or the government in this instance, doesn't need to go and refashion something to say, hey, anybody defame the people who are on Jamrock or does something unlawful, this is what will apply to them. Remedy is already available, and it's an important point because one of the things that the PNP did throughout the NARA debate were come across as though NARA and the establishment of this authority would mean that certain things that are provided for in existing legislation would stop keep. And my short response to them would be no. The things that are provided for and legislated elsewhere still a keep, in as much as NARA is being established and will be keeping.
Senator Morgan, before you go, sir, there are Jamaicans listening to you tonight, and they are in communities affected by Melissa. And they may be wondering the tangibles for which NARA is to deliver to them. When would you say that these tangibles will be coming to their communities? There may be people too who have roofs and property and other things, and maybe have not seen the type of assistance that they should have seen this far. Speak to those people, Senator, about what the government can do, what the government is doing, and how long will they have to wait?
Just a quick editorial note. I want to make it expressly clear that my reference to both my colleague senator and the moniker I attached to her is within the context of pointing to their political ideology and the political views to which they subscribe, as they are entitled to so subscribe. The folk have been referenced as left of center. I identify as right of center, and many of the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party that governs Jamaica at this time may be considered as being centrist, in terms of centrist in outlook, centrist in design, and impacting the Jamaican people by exhibiting compassion, even while being frugal and holding to the virtues of conservative values and fiscal discipline, which is what conservatism underscores and extols. In relation to people feeling, we're getting to the impact part.
Yes.
One of the things that we have to appreciate is that the end product is something that we will get to at an ultimate point in time. But long before we get to that, there is employment, for example, that will be generated in the construction phase and in the build-out phase of many of the projects that are being pursued by NARA, which is why at the heart of NARA is reconstruction and resilience building. So when Black River is being transformed, it will require personnel to do so. Machine operators, equipment operators, workers, and importantly, work being undertaken is a catalyst for many other sectors and fields of endeavor. So when work are gone, an enterprising Jamaican down in St. Elizabeth, Southwestern, can go to a wholesale, buy some wares, put it on a stall, and they are selling their wares to the workmen in the space. Whether it is beverages, man and man might want them dragon when them come off our site or when them get them break time. Although we don't promote certain undesirable and unhealthy things, people buy cigarette because we're in a democracy and a man may elect to draw some cigarette when he take a break from the work. And as I said before, that is not a healthy practice. We don't encourage that. But we know that in keeping with enterprise, that lady, in the same way people do when they go to a grave digging, or when they go to a setup, what we call dead yard, or when they go to a funeral and they have them stall on the outside, they must sell banana chips, they must sell bag juice, backstring, dragon, guineas, you name it. And people are juggle them things. So when work are going on a site I keep, whether Black River, Lucy, Falmouth, or over in Portland, you name it, wherever, people are able to sell them wares. The shops and businesses in the proximity to the project, they too will have a bounce in business because the restaurant where they're in proximity to the site are going to sell them chicken and chips. They are going to sell them tea and fried dumpling and, ackee or callaloo at morning time. These things will happen. The operators of public passenger transportation will come in for business because to the extent that a person don't operate a private motor vehicle, it is a public passenger vehicle based on distance that will take people from point A to point B as they go to and from a site where they are working or where they are conducting business. So NARA and the projects to be undertaken, neighbor, will be a catalyst for many positive spin-offs, what we refer to in economics terms as spin-offs, because it will create jobs and it will provide economic opportunities both directly and indirectly. And when all is said and done, NARA, to the extent that it will be impacting housing and other public infrastructure and such things as even energy, including clean energy, the whole raft of things, because I'm just going to enumerate for your listeners, for the viewers, the kinds of things that NARA will be touching on. So the NARA projects are set out in clause 25.2. The NARA projects will concern and involve energy infrastructure, which includes, as I said just now, renewable energy generation, transmission and storage. It will also include digital infrastructure and telecommunications, logistics, air and seaports, water, sewage and desalination.
Yes.
It may also include low-income housing and urban development, because what NARA wants to do, NARA is going to be a vehicle through which government is seeking to better respond to neighbor and better cater to the housing demand and needs of the Jamaican people. Because as we know, we have made certain interventions as a government since taking office in March of 2016. We have made certain interventions by increasing the NHC ceiling time and again, the loan ceiling, both for individual borrowers or for joint borrowers. We have also sought to reduce the NHD interest rate.
Yes.
For the lowest income earners in Jamaica, they do not pay an interest rate on their NHD. The rate is this, my brother. See that? Zero. See? So now, NARA will cater to housing build-out and development, because it is one of those activities provided for here, and it will be one of the opportunities available as well to the private sector to come in and undertake investment, because they will be benefiting from the acceleration in terms of speed with which NARA will secure approvals and enable them to execute the project and provide a return on their investment. And in the Jamaica Labour Party, neighbor, and in this government, we do not begrudge enterprise. We do not begrudge or envy people making a return on investment, because when a man take up his resources and take a risk, whether big or small, that person deserves to have a return on their investment, just like the lady who will learn of a site and she go down at it, we call it the wholesale, go buy certain things in order to come and hopefully sell to the people who come to and from the site, whether she's selling phone card, whether she's selling banana chips, whether she's selling bun and cheese, or whether she had juggled some patty and she have a little warmer there. See, the fact is, enterprise is what this government encourages, and Jamaica is in good hands with the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party.
Fantastic way to prove. Finally, before you go, Senator, one of the arguments the Prime Minister has consistently made is that Jamaica cannot approach reconstruction with ordinary bureaucracy and fragmented coordination, especially given the scale of the challenges the country now faces. From your vantage point, Senator Morgan, Why do you believe the Prime Minister is uniquely positioned to lead a reconstruction effort of this magnitude? And how does NARA strengthen the government's ability to execute his vision effectively?
One of the things that people should note is that the Prime Minister has had the benefit and the distinction of holding office for the past 10 years. That gives you a certain outlook, a certain vantage point. The Prime Minister comes to the task with a certain perspective, a commendable command of the issues, and experience, first and foremost.
Yes.
And he's a man of vision. When you serve as head of government, you not only visit other parts of the world, you have available to you a raft of not just advisors, but persons who are well placed from a technical standpoint, who will impart to you perspectives,
yes,
advice, and of course, case studies. And what the Prime Minister did, consequent on the passage of Hurricane Melissa, was to carefully consider the experiences of other countries in the past and determine what would suit Jamaica in this instance, following the passage of Hurricane Melissa and the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. And he has determined that establishing this entity is what is fit for purpose at this time, and what enables him and what sees him being well placed to do so is that he is a patriot at heart, a fine son of this country, a man who came from humble beginnings, so he understands and can identify with a person who is living in a board house, who is vulnerable. Because when the rain set up, and me not have a fret because me live within the four walls of a concrete structure, there are other persons neighbor.
Yes.
When them see the cloud get dark, them have to think about setting some pan. Remember, that is the reality of some of our Jamaican brothers and sisters. A man have to set some pan.
And you are saying the Prime Minister understands this?
The man grew up in a poor house for general. You can't have it in terms of perspective and the richness of that. You see my dude? The man grew up in a board house, so he understands the vagaries of that and just the sheer dynamics of hailing from humble beginnings and applying yourself through hard work and enterprise, which is why I was able to relate to you what I related to you a while ago.
Yes.
Meaning government's commitment and position in relation to fostering and encouraging people's enterprise. So if you hear of a 9-night keep and you are going to the 9-night, go juggle your soup and corn, as long as you not offend the people who are keep the 9-night, you should be enterprising and go down at the 9-night, go juggle your soup and corn, because your corn we sell and your soup we sell, and you have to go home with some money in your pocket to give your daughter her extra lesson money and her lunch money come Monday morning.
Yes.
That's what we are about. We are called the Labour Party, neighbor, because that's what we believe in. We believe in the hard work, the diligent effort, and the enterprise of people. By your sweat, as the Prime Minister often says, shall you eat bread. And that's why we do what we do. While some others run up and down the place and are just mere miscreants and mischief makers on social media, seeking tops and roses in circumstances where they are not adding value. I'm delighted that your platform is a platform that adds value. And we too over here welcome lions, we welcome taps and roses and various other goodies. Yes?
Absolutely.
And we unapologetically welcome those things because we deserve the good things then. And we like the good things then. But we don't just like it for ourselves. We like it for all the people of Jamaica. Not those people who are seeking to tear down Jamaica. And it is our hope and indeed our appeal that the people who seek to do destructive things and the tear down Jamaica things shall depart from and turn away from their unprogressive and undesirable activities and ways. That's just our humble appeal.
Harry, final word to you.
Well, I won't add much to it, but I do look forward, Senator Morgan, to another time, another discussion, because it's a riveting one. It has brought a lot to the table and to the ears of the people of Jamaica, revealing things that, questions they may have asked, but don't have the right sources, and we're happy to have had you tonight to give clarity, to also show transparency in governance, because you are part of the governing body. And we thank you for that. We look to see you coming in the future, as well as other members of the government, because the truth about it, because I'm a young man as well, and the finance minister spoke to the 20-year-olds, which should be maybe the defining group coming election, maybe 2029, 2030, whenever that is. And I get to have an understanding, because of lack of civics within schools. A lot of persons don't understand governance, they don't understand the government structure, and as such, they don't even know what is being done in their benefit, the opportunities being created and so on. So I'm happy for this opportunity for you to share those, not just what is there now, but what is to be unlocked by NARA and those to come further.
Well,
yeah, man, respect. Thanks for that, Harry. And you can rest assured, my brother, that we're going to be sustaining our, pressure on the gas pedal, the acceleration pedal in that regard.
Senator, thank you for your time. Nation building, sir, is never without its challenges, but it's also about trust, communication, and delivery. And as you have often said, you told us in the general election to choose Jamaica. Yes, and now that many of us have chosen Jamaica, we now need to protect Jamaica.
Yes.
So
we just think about what things would have been like if the other people had won on September 3 and we were hit by Melissa, as we have been on 28th October. Oh, they would have been scrambling just to find them footing. They wouldn't know their head from their foot. I mean, God is good, yes?
Yeah, well, if you look at
good hands, and I want to just thank the people of Jamaica. We're not being cavalier or exhibiting bravado or arrogance. We are sincerely grateful for the people of Jamaica for listening to our platform. They would have taken note, neighbor, of our achievement.
Yes.
They would have taken note of our manifesto, and they would have listened to our exhortations and our representation on the platform. The Prime Minister donning his 1 p.m. jacket at the hall, right? They would have taken what we were saying to them in account. For some, as is their democratic right, they didn't. And sadly, there were some who decided not to participate in the process. And I'm using this platform tonight to urge those who are not so inclined to participate in the political process to get involved and support and vote for the Jamaica Labour Party. We are the government of achievement and performance. We are the political party of vision and hard work, because it is not lip service and talking that will build this country up. And that is why, in closing, we have got this bill, which really actualizes the vision expressed in the Prime Minister's contribution to the budget debate. It is this bill that is going to make the things set out in this a reality. And we want to have you and all Jamaicans on board as we restore our country and attain our great promise, because Jamaica deserves to step into her full potential and be that wonderful place of choice that she can be, to live, work, raise families, do business, and retire in paradise. What good, neighbor?
Senator, thank you. So that shall return phrase is is one that you should stay away from. Take care of yourself, man. And thanks to Zachary. And my moderator, Caroline, wants to tell you that she appreciates you very much. And yes. And thank you so much for joining us.
Think of yourself, Caroline. Good. All the best for.
All right, great, man. Courtesy of friends of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Equal rights and justice is our everlasting song. Unity and
Well, it's a better
Welcome to Home
it's a
Designs
better
AI.
it's a better party for sure. The party of greater vision, I think so. Roll call. No. By the way, Harry, you there?
I'm here, neighbor.
Harry,
Yeah.
your views. How was that? Senator spent almost 3 hours with us. What's your initial view?
Well, for one, neighbor, I'll say thanks to the senator, to come on. Because of course over here, it's conversations that matter, neighbor.
Yes.
And give value to people who dedicate their time to listen. Specifically those overseas in the diaspora who I know some of them probably over there go for a second job now and I listen in just to know what's happening back a yard.
Yes.
And that's great. But it was informative, nothing short of what I expected from Senator Morgan, in terms of the time that we had. I think these programs might have to have part twos in a neighbor.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love that we could, give the information out to the people. When we look at the narratives being spun, the misinformation out there, the discrediting, even the assassination of characters,
yes,
of government individuals, just to discredit the work that has been put in. Yes, Melissa has passed 6-7 months ago, and to appeal to the sensationalism aspect of things and emotions, to let it seem as if there is nothing done thus far to amplify, for example, a $1.44 billion
wickedness. Can you imagine the government has spent $67 billion already, Harry? That the government was able to find that money. What are you talking about?
The thing about it, and that 67 billion would have brought us back to the government's budget as well, because it shows how we move from what the money is to what the value it adds. Because money is just paper, neighbor.
Yes.
Right? But the value that you can add to it, and I want to focus on what the government would have seen for the 1.44 billion is not to hand it out to people like that, but to centralize it in a way and to strategically develop it and target areas of true value, right? 600,000 of it is going to foundation and building out for the homes to come.
Yes.
That's what people have been crying out for, but we know the truth is, you can't just get up and put up a house anywhere, neighbor. There are analysis assessments to be done. We're moving things differently. We're building the country on the foot that it should have had before.
Yes.
It should have taken a Melissa to bring us to our knees, because the truth is, it may not feel as if we're there, thanks to how we've been governed in the last decade, right? But that is where the country is. And the truth with it is that the government sought better ways how to let that money add value.
Yeah, and not only better ways, but are being very prudent and accountable. Compared to
there's equity and transparency with it.
Compared to others, Harry.
Yeah, right. And it speaks volumes to those who put people first before the party. And I don't think people understand that's something we've been suffering from for a long time. We've finally gotten persons where all monies are accounted for. Right?
Yes.
But it seems as if that's not a problem.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
But the whole spin within NARA, neighbor, and that, getting the information out there, this is probably the start of it, right? I know the government will be doing other things to sensitize persons about it.